Well, hello and welcome to this live English question and answer lesson. I'm Bob the Canadian. Many of you already know who I am. I am just a guy on YouTube that likes to help people learn English. So I do want to say good morning to everyone. It was fun to see a lot of you in the chat before the live lesson started. It was just great to say hi to some of you. Interesting, a few people from Brazil. Rod as well mentioned that it's really cold in Brazil right now. In Canada, it's actually warmer than normal. It's kind of strange right now. I feel like the weather has inverted, that the southern climes are supposed to be getting warmer and we're supposed to be getting colder, but it seems like the opposite is happening. But anyways, good morning to everyone. Good morning, Rodrigo down there in Brazil and everyone else from every other part of the world. This is an English question and answer lesson. Here's how it works. There will be a link in the chat. I actually think Todd just put it in the chat. That link takes you to a form. You can use that form to ask a question about the English language, and I will try my best to answer it. Please do not ask questions directly in the chat. Please use the chat to do things like say good morning to me. I see a lot of people saying good morning in the chat. Good morning to all of you. Good afternoon, good evening. And please use it to have English conversations with other people in the chat. I do want to just say hello to Brent from American English with This Guy is there. Bushra is there. Savitha is there. Carlos, K. Mega, Rajesh Singh, so many of you. Nakshu Vedi, so many of you in the chat. I can't say all of your names because there's just too many people. But we should get started. Let me jump over and see if there is a question available for me. There should be. At this point in the lesson, there is usually a question ready to go. Let me see if I can find one and we will put it up on the screen. So here we go. One moment, something didn't work here. There we go. I think it's working. Vivian. Hi, Vivian. Hi, Bob. Could you tell me the difference between epidemic and pandemic? Thanks. So I don't actually know the difference, but they both have to do with the spreading of a disease. I think an epidemic is smaller. Like you could say, oh, there's an epidemic right now in Ontario. Everyone's getting the flu. I think a pandemic is countrywide or worldwide. I think that is when a disease spreads further than most people were expecting. I see a lot of people saying good morning in the chat now. That is very cool. Good morning to all of you. Awesome to see everyone here. Next question is from Salah Abid. Hey, Teacher Bob. Hey, Salah. Help us and cheer us up every week for nothing. Well, I don't do it for nothing. You all understand that on YouTube, you do get a little bit of money from the ads. It's not a lot of money, but being chipper and happy and doing videos is rewarding, but I do get a little bit of money. So let's not pretend that doesn't happen. But yes, I do like to make videos and I do like to cheer people up. Someone commented earlier, they like my smile. So that's good. I'm glad that you like my smile. I should tell you, though, I am grouchy sometimes, just like everyone else in the world. Anyways, your heart is as big as a father. Thank you for the compliment. What's the meaning of the word significant? So when there is a significant amount of something, it means that there is a lot of them. If you said, there was only supposed to be 20 people at the beach, but there were significantly more people than that, it means that there were a lot more than 20 people. If someone is trying to solve a crime and they find an important piece of evidence, they could say this is a significant piece of evidence. So it has kind of a second meaning there, meaning important. So hopefully those two examples help you out. Let's see here. Next question, Athanasios, GR. Hello, Teacher Bob. How are you today? I'm good. How are you? In English, we say he is in or on a good lever. I think you mean level, maybe. I think you're looking for the word level. So you would say he is at a good level. No, you would say his English is at a good level. Okay, so you would use English as the noun. His English is great. His English is at a great level. His English is at a good level. I think that's what you meant, Athanasios. I'm pretty sure that was what the question was. Next question from Margaretha. Hi, Teacher Bob. Hi, Margaretha. Please explain the difference between to gamble on, to gamble with, and to gamble that. Thank you, best wishes from Ukraine. So if you like horses, let me check my audio for a sec. Yes, everything's working. If you like horse racing, you might gamble on the horses. Okay, if you like, there's different types of racing that you can bet on, that you can gamble on. That's how I would use that phrase. Oh, he likes to gamble on the horses. To gamble with, you're talking about the thing you are using. So he gambles with his money. You can gamble with your life. Like people who take risks, we sometimes say they are gambling with their life. And to gamble that, I would just say that's less used. That's a tricky phrase for me to give an example of. But the first two, hopefully that helps just a bit. Maybe someone in the chat can give an example of to gamble at. Next question is from Deekshant. Hi, Deekshant. What do Teacher Bob's farm cats say? Bob is the nicest person. So it's a little play on words here. Hope you're well, Bob. I'm truly sorry. Take care. Thanks, Deekshant. I appreciate it. Next question is from Shanae from Copenhagen. And Shanae from Copenhagen says, hello, Bob. What are these words? Suitable and adequate, initial and primary. So when something is suitable, it can also mean that it's appropriate, okay? So let me get a good sense of how to use the word suitable versus adequate. Let's do adequate first. If I want to sell something for $10, but someone says, can I just give you $8? I could say that's adequate. So that means that's enough money for me, okay? If I say, let me use the word suitable. Sorry, I'm a little having trouble coming up with an example for suitable. So let's see. So you can talk about what's suitable for someone who's a certain age. For me to become a rock star right now doesn't make sense. It's just more suitable for me to be a teacher on YouTube. It just makes more sense. And then initial and primary. So the initial thing is the first thing. So if you are going to make a YouTube video, the initial thing you need to do is actually go outside with your camera. Primary means the first thing as well, but it's used a little differently. We use it in school. We say primary grades. So these are the first grades that you attend. Let's see here. Next question. Here we go. Antonio. So hello, Bob. Hello, Antonio. We did a lesson yesterday on farming. If you want to watch it, maybe Todd or Dave can post a link in the chat. But we did a live lesson yesterday on farming, and it was a lot of fun. And Antonio has a question here about farming. As a farmer, could you please tell me how much land should a farmer have in Canada to gain enough money for a decent living? Okay, so I made a number of corrections there, Antonio, just so you know. And how much does land cost for farming? So again, people, I do usually try to read the questions correctly. So I don't always read them word for word. I usually correct them as I'm reading them. So first, how much land? A farmer needs about 1,000 acres to earn a living in Canada, okay? And an acre costs about $10,000 in my part of Ontario, Canada. So it's quite expensive to do that. Thanks, Dave, for getting that link. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Let's see here. The next question's a little challenging. Sir Bob, I like that. That's nice. Sir Bob. That's called an honorific, when you use sir. So thank you, Sir Bob. Could you explain how to use these phrases in a meaningful context? In proportion as and in proportion to. Thank you for all your great lessons. I can give you an example of the second one, in proportion to. So the number of men in proportion to the number of women is about 1.1 to 1. So when you're comparing things, you can say in proportion to. We would not, to my knowledge, use in proportion as. I'm not sure I've heard that phrase. That's a good question, though. Let's see here. Next question from Mary. I hope I'm not going too fast for everybody. I like to try and answer the questions as quickly as possible so that we get through as many as possible. I am going to pause, though, and say hello to all of the 412 people who are watching. If you're new here, you should click that subscribe button, and you will be notified when I make new lessons here on YouTube. But Mary, hi Mary. Mary says, hello, Teacher Bob. Hope you are doing well. Could you please explain the difference between the words demand and require and recall and recollect? Thank you. So when you demand something, it's like you're asking for something, but you're really emphasizing that you want it. So if a child says, may I have a cookie? they are asking for a cookie. If a child says, I want a cookie, give me one now, they are demanding a cookie, okay? Now, the word has more meanings than that, but that's, I think, a good example. When you require something, it simply means you need it, but it might be a little more important than that. A van requires gas in order for the engine to run. People require food and water in order to stay healthy. So it means that they need it, but it also means a little more than that. When you recall something, you simply remember it. And when you recollect, it's simply remembering. They are very similar. We don't often use these words. We often just use the words remember. You know, oh, I remember when I was a kid, I used to fish in the river. Actually, I didn't. My brother did. I remember when I was a kid, my brother used to fish in the river. I could say I recall as a child, my brother used to fish in the river, but it's a lot more formal when you say it that way. And if you say that you recollect something, we don't use that word very often in everyday speech. Let's see here. Yeah. So Luke's question is, hi, Bob. Hi, Luke. Are the following expressions, to be pushing up daisies or cramp your style, commonly used in English, or are they old-fashioned slang, etc.? Thanks. So the first one, to be pushing up daisies, simply means that you are dead. There's no nice way to put it. You've kicked the bucket, you bought the farm, you're pushing up daisies. These phrases actually aren't used that often. They are somewhat common. You will hear them from time to time. But if you say, that someone's pushing up daisies, most likely you would just say that they passed away, okay? Pushing up daisies is a little bit rude, I think, when you're talking about someone who has passed away. The second phrase, to cramp your style, I hear that all the time, okay? So a lot of times at work, I want to teach a certain way, but my boss tells me that I have to do other things, and it really cramps my style, okay? That means that I have an idea of how I want to teach my classes, but there's so many things my boss and my department head want me to do that sometimes it cramps my style. I want to ask Brett the same question. Brett, do you sometimes have people cramp your style when you're trying to teach? We'll see what Brent says in the chat. Let's see here. Johnny from Brazil. Hi, Johnny. So I hear it's cold in Brazil, Johnny. I hope you're staying warm. Johnny says, hi, Teacher Bob. Hi, Johnny. Hope you're doing great. My boyfriend likes to slump on the sofa watching TV all evening. What's the meaning of slump on in this sentence? So when you sit, so I'm sitting nicely. It's like you just kind of, you just kind of lay, like you half sit or half lay on the sofa. When you slump, you're not sitting up straight, you're not laying down, you're kind of in some sort of middle area. Let's see here. Next question is from Renata. Hi, Renata. Hello, Bob. I hope you're healthy and happy as always. Yes, I am. How do you pronounce monorail and silhouette? Thanks. Merci. Abrigada. Abrigada. I got to look that word up later. I'm sure that's a good word, Renata. You've been around a long time. I'm sure you wouldn't trick me. So a monorail is a train that goes on a single rail. So I'll make a train sound. Choot, 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 choot. That's not what a train does. Okay, modern trains don't actually make that sound. But a monorail is a train that goes on a single rail. I think it can hang from a single rail as well. And then a silhouette is like a shadow. So that's how we would say silhouette and monorail. Let's see here. Going to go to the next question, just looking at the chat for a little bit. I want to make sure that people are aware. Yeah, I see someone saying slump is sit comfortably. I would agree with that. Just be aware that I don't answer questions from the chat. So please use the link and please use the chat to have little discussions among yourself. Adam from China says, hi, Bob, how are you? Could you please tell me the difference between inquiry or inquiry and quotation? Thank you. Notice I said that first word two ways. I didn't even know I did that. So there's an inquiry or there's an inquiry. Apparently there's two pronunciations and I just learned that. So an inquiry is when they investigate something, okay? So let's say that someone committed a crime and there's going to be an inquiry. there's going to be an investigation. They're going to try and figure out what happened. A quotation, there's two, I'll give you one definition of quotation. If I need my van fixed, but I'm not sure how much it's going to cost, I might ask for a quote or a quotation. So a quotation is when they give you a number for how much something is going to cost before they fix it. We call it a quote. You can also call it a quotation. It has other meanings though, because famous people, there's a lot of quotations from famous people. There's a lot of quotes from famous people. And do look this up, because I might be using the words incorrectly. As a native speaker, I don't always know if I'm using a word correctly. I would use the word quote and quotation interchangeably, and that might be wrong. So definitely look it up in a dictionary. Let's see here. Shreya, what is the meaning of bird's eye view? So I have a second YouTube channel. Maybe Dave or Todd could put a link to it in the chat. On that channel, I teach 1 or 2 phrases 4 times a week. It's called Bob's Short English Lessons. And I did this phrase actually just a little while ago. A bird's eye view is a view you have when you're in a high place. So if you are at the top of a mountain, if you are on top of a building, if you are standing somewhere really high and you can see down, you have a bird's eye view, similar to what a bird would have when it is flying. I just thought, oh yeah, everything seems to be working great. It's really windy out here though. I don't know if you can tell. It's windier than normal. I'm glad I have this on the microphone to stop the wind. Next question here is from Vita from Ukraine. Hello, how are you? I'm good, Vita. Thanks for asking. Could you please give examples for how to use the verb to proceed and the phrase out of bounds? Thanks a lot. So to proceed is simply to continue, okay? So if you get stopped at the border and the person asks you questions, where are you from? Let me see your passport. Here's your passport back. You can proceed. Basically, they mean you can continue. So anytime someone says that you can proceed, it means that you can continue. Out of bounds is simply if you are playing basketball or football or soccer and you go off the court or the field, we would say that you are out of bounds. Is it into touch in Britain? I don't remember exactly. It's a slightly different phrase. But if you watch the NBA, if you watch American basketball, by the way, there's a Canadian team as well. If you go outside of the court, you are out of bounds. Nguyen Gzhen in the chat says, where are you, sir? I am outside on my farm, just outside of Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. That's where I am. And Fatih Bell says, hi, teacher. Hi, Fatih. It's nice to see you here. And also, what time is it in your country? It is 11:18 a.m. right now. Let's see here. Gina has a great question. Gina says, hi, Mr. Bob. Why do people use double negatives in sentences like, I don't need no money, instead of I don't need money? Mostly in song lyrics. So Gina, I did make a few corrections while I was reading that, just so you know. Yeah, I don't know why people use double negatives. It's quite common for people to use double negatives in very informal speech. Like, I don't need no cookies means that actually means that you need cookies, but that's not what the person is trying to say. I don't know, Gina. I think it's just a cool way to talk sometimes. And people sometimes use double negatives. It's not good. It's not a good habit to get into. Don't learn double negatives. Let's see here. Let me get the next question up from Modine. Hi, Mr. Bob. Hi, Mo. Is it more convenient to use with the word everyone have or has? Everyone has or everyone have? And which one of these, poor him or poor he, is correct? So first of all, I would say everyone has. Everyone has a place to sit. Everyone has a textbook. Everyone has the right to go to school and get an education. Okay, so everyone has. And then the second one, I would say poor him. I feel bad for him. Poor him. Poor her. So him and her would go with poor. So when you are expressing sympathy for someone, sometimes you use poor. Let's see here. I just want to stop and say hi to the 500 People watching, if you're new here, you should click the subscribe button. It's a good thing to do. It makes me happy when people click the subscribe button. Tom Bacony. Hello, Bob. Hi, Tom. How much money do you pay in taxes? Thanks. So that's how you would ask that question. How much money do you pay in taxes? Well, in Canada, you pay a lot of taxes. I pay income tax. So almost half the money that I make goes for taxes. Okay. So I pay income tax, sales tax, property tax, just to name the three big ones. So when you buy something in a store, there's tax. Whenever my work pays me, they take money off and they send it to the government. So that's income tax. And then to live on a property, you pay property tax. So I won't tell you the exact amount, but half of all the money I make each year goes to the government in some form of tax. But healthcare is free in Canada, just so you know. Let me get to the next question. Brahim says, hi, dear Teacher Bob from Morocco. What is the difference between intelligence and wisdom? So this is kind of hard to explain. So when you're intelligent, when you're smart, when you're wise, they are all just slightly different versions of being a smart person. Intelligence is sometimes just general smarts. So you're just good at school. You're good at learning things. When you read a book, you remember a lot of it. You're very intelligent. Wisdom, I've heard, is when you're intelligent about knowing things, but also intelligent in how you act, and you're intelligent in the things you say. Okay. Generally, we don't consider people wise until they're older, but definitely wisdom is something where it's like super intelligence, where you also care about people and you're smart and you say kind things. Elias Gomez, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, hey, Bob, and hey, everyone. Good to see you here, Elias. By the way, Elias has routinely worked through almost every video I've ever made, and then he leaves a little comment whenever he's done a video. And I really appreciate that, Elias. I know I don't respond all the time, but I just love it. Almost every day, I will see a comment from Elias saying, just finished this video. Thanks, Bob. Working my way to the next one. So Elias, you're awesome. I think you've almost watched every single one of my videos. That was a great thing to do to help you with your English. And it also made me super happy. So that's awesome of you. Let's see here. So Adnan says, could you please explain the use of behind and beyond? So behind me is a river, okay? Behind me is a tree. Behind me is a river. In front of me is a tree. In front of me is the road. So that's behind and in front of. But beyond the river, there is a park, actually. And beyond the river, I'm not sure if you can see it, there is a windmill. Beyond the road, there is a large field. So beyond simply means if you are seeing something and talking about something that's further than that. Let's see here. So Adnan, hopefully that helped. Next question is from Israel. Says, hello, Bob, how are you? What does ain't mean? Can you give us some examples? So ain't is simply the same as isn't, which is the contraction of is not. Okay. So he is not smart. He ain't smart. That's not a nice thing to say, is it? But anyways, isn't and ain't mean the same thing. Technically, you shouldn't use the word ain't or the contraction ain't. Like, I ain't going to do that. I ain't going to run a marathon in the future. It works. We do say it. But you should probably not use ain't. You should probably say, I'm not going to. So again, ain't, he is not, he ain't. I am not, I ain't. Ain't kind of replaces all of those contractions. It's a handy word, I guess, but technically not proper English. I say it all the time, by the way. So I was going to try and find a funny sentence like, he ain't going to listen to his own advice. Or anyways, let's keep going. Let's see here. Maria from Spain. Hi, Maria. Hi, Bob. How are you? When is it necessary to add got after have? I have or I have got some friends. Is there any rule? How do you use it? Thanks a lot. So let's look at it this way. I have the time to do a live lesson right now. I've got the time to do a live lesson right now. I have got the time to do a live lesson right now. Of those 3 variations, the first 2 are very common. Like, hey, Bob, can you come over and help me move some furniture? And I could say, yeah, I've got some time this afternoon. I could say I will have some time this afternoon. It's just a very common structure, Maria. We do say it quite a bit. Do you have your textbook? Yep, I've got my textbooks. Instead of just saying, yes, I have my textbooks. So it's just a choice. You can say both. They're both equally correct, for sure. Let me see here. Vipin says, hello, Bob. What is the difference between will, may, and might? So I will go to the store. I may go to the store. I might go to the store. If I say I will go to the store this afternoon, it means that I'm for sure going. I'm definitely going. If I say I may go to the store or I might go to the store, the chance of it happening is 50-50. I might go to the store. I might not go to the store. But if I say I will go to the store, it means that I am going to the store. It is absolutely 100% true. So this is a great question, and I do want to make a video on this soon. Adnan from Morocco. Good morning, Teacher Bob. How are you doing? I'm doing good. Can you please tell me what's the difference between formal English and informal English, and which one is the best? So there's no hard and fast rule about what is formal English and what is informal. I know there are some languages in the world where there's 2 distinct ways of talking, a very formal way of talking and a very informal way. English is a very informal language. So here's the best example I can give you. When I talk to someone who I don't know well, I generally talk very formal English. I speak clearly and concisely. I don't use a lot of contractions. If I am in a job interview, I will speak very clear, proper English. When I talk to my boss, I often speak very informal English, which might surprise some of you. It's because I know my boss quite well, and I've worked for him for 20 years. And so my language is I use a lot more slang, and I use a lot more informal words. I was just talking to my boss the other day on the phone, and it was a very casual, informal conversation. If I was in a meeting with my boss and someone from the school board, I would speak very clear and proper English. So I'll try to do a video on this soon. There's no clear way to say what's formal and what's informal. Obviously, if you use a lot of slang, it is informal. So hopefully that helped, Adnan. That was a great question. Irina, the Ukrainian. Hi, Bob. Hi, Irina. Please explain how to use words saucy and pansy in daily conversation. I often see them in fashion press. Are they offensive when applied to men? Thank you. Yes, so the word pansy is offensive. If you call a man a pansy, it means you don't think he's very manly, okay? So that is not a nice thing to say to someone. If you say someone is saucy, it means they're kind of, they say funny things. They maybe they're flirty when they're saucy. So both are not overly positive things to say about someone. So I would just avoid them. And by the way, the word saucy, we don't use very much anymore to describe somebody. That's a little bit of an old word. Let's see here. Julia from Colombia says, why is this sentence wrong? Why not ironing his suit? Thanks. I appreciate your lessons. I would say this. Why isn't he ironing his suit? That would be a completely proper sentence, although I think you spelt ironing wrong. I think it's IR, just one R. So I would say, why is he not ironing his suit? That would be a completely proper sentence, in my opinion. I think that one works for sure. Give me one moment here, everybody. I do need to make a slight change. We need to go to the chat settings. And there we go. So right now it is members only chat time. I didn't bring my reading glasses, so I hope I can see the really small print on the screen. But if you are a member of the channel, first of all, thank you. And if you want to ask questions directly in the chat right now, go ahead. I will be happy to answer them. Vova has the next question. Sorry, did I just yell in the microphone? I'm trying not to do that. Vova says, hi, Bob. How are you? What does LMAO mean? So this is an interesting one because the third word is actually not a very good word to say, but I'll say it anyways. LMAO means laughing my ass off. Okay, so your butt, like your rear end, is your ass. So when you say you're laughing your ass off, you just you're laughing a lot. Okay, your butt doesn't actually fall off, by the way. It comes from the English phrase laughing my head off. And I think someone just thought it was funny to add another word in there. So anyways, Corey J says, Dear Bob, could you give me a piece of advice about how we could remember more easily the phrasal verbs? Maybe a kind of magical recipe. They are so common, but so challenging as well. So I mentioned this, I think in another video. First of all, find the 200 most common phrasal verbs and just memorize them and try to use them in a sentence. Like, learn what it means, try to write a sentence with it. And then don't worry too much about the fact that there are thousands of phrasal verbs. I really think we only use about 200 of them regularly. Even if you only know 100, I think that would be quite helpful. Let's see here. Elias says, Bob, could you explain the phrase, I will wet my whistle first? So before I answer that question, I'm just going to wet my whistle. There we go. So what was the question again? Oh, what does wet my whistle mean? It means you take a little drink. Maybe before you talk, you need to wet your whistle. Maybe before you sing a song, you need to wet your whistle. It's an older phrase. I have not heard it a lot recently, but it's definitely a phrase that is used. Julia Olise, hi teacher. Sometimes I feel like a smart doggy, can understand everything, but can't say nothing. So that's a double negative. That you can't say nothing. So that's great. I'm glad that you used a double negative. You would say, I can't say anything. That's the right way to say it. But that's great. Maybe you were trying to be fun. Keep listening and practice your speaking. The more you take in, the more it will help you speak later. Sometimes it just takes some time for it to settle in. Let's see here. Corey J says, thanks a million. Elias says, I didn't understand it very well because when I think of whistle, I remember a football judge. Yeah. So I'm not sure why it's called wet your whistle, but you take a little drink, you wet your whistle. Sultan says, Bob, when's the last time a tornado came in your city? Never. There's usually well, okay, that's not true. There was a very small tornado here a long time ago that knocked over a tree. So I would say tornadoes come every 30 years here, maybe every 100 years. There aren't a lot of tornadoes where I live. Rod says, Sir Bob, what's your favorite activity in winter? I really just like going outside in the winter. As a kid, I really liked skating. We used to skate on the river. It's not very safe to do that, but we used to skate on the river. But I would say just going and walking outside in the crisp winter air, that right now is probably one of my favorite activities. Michelle has become a member of the channel. Thank you so much, Michelle, for joining and helping to support everything that I do. And Michelle says, hey, what's up, folks? Boom, I'm here. So welcome, Michelle. That's very awesome of you. So keep asking questions, members. I'm going to go and grab another question. This is from Rod VIP. Mr. Bob, I hope you're okay. What's the difference between group and cohort? Thank you so much. Have a great Saturday. Group is a general term for people. So if you have a bunch of people, you could say it's a group of people. A cohort is just a little more formal. And Rod, you probably are asking this because you're a teacher as well. In schools, we're starting to use the word cohort for this year. So my kids will be in cohorts of less than 50 students. That means that they will not interact with more than 49 other people, and that is their cohort. So you could call it a group, but just to be a little more formal, I think we're calling them cohorts. When I go to school, I will be in a cohort of 100 people. So those are the only people that will interact through the day. Let's see here. Can't quite see this. Nakshu says, hello, Teacher Bob. How are you? I'm good, Nakshu. Elias Gomez says, Bob, could you give us an example using the word bundle up? Yeah, when it gets cold, you need to bundle up. So if you wear a t-shirt and then a long sleeve shirt and a sweater and a winter coat and a winter hat and a scarf, we would say that you are bundling up. Sometimes I look outside in the winter and I think, oh, I better bundle up before I go out there. It simply means to put on a lot of clothes because it is cold. Lolly says, si tes enfants veulent, if your kids want to become farmers. Oh, si tes enfants veulent devenir des fermiers, are you going to divide the farm into 5 parts? Est-ce que tu vas diviser la ferme entre 5 parties? I don't know. I don't think that's going to work, Lolly. They used to do that, though, eh? Farmers who had lots of children, they would have to divide their farm up into many, many parts. I don't think any of my kids want to farm. We might have to just sell it someday, but not anytime soon. Let's see here. Corey J, what is the difference between figure out and find out? I usually say this. We use figure out a lot if it's like a math problem, like I need to figure out this math problem, or if it's a logical series of steps, like I need to figure out how to get to 3 different stores in less than an hour. So that's when you're trying to solve something. Find out is when you're trying to just get some information. Like I need to find out where my brother is today. I need to find out whether Jen is going to make supper tonight. So it's slightly different. You can actually use them interchangeably as well, and no one will know. Let's see here. I'm really having trouble. I need to get like something to make a shadow on my screen here. Let's see here. Lolly, yes. Corey J, difference between figure. Trung, hi Bob, how are you? When does school in Canada start? September 8th is our first day back. So September 8th, we're back in school. But I have to go to meetings with the other teachers in just a couple weeks. Let's see here. Thank you, dear teacher, says Julia. No problem. Samuel Chen, hi, dear Bob. Do you have any suggestions on how to choose an English name or just Romanize it? Thanks a lot. If you want to choose an English name and your name has English sounds to it, you could see what English word is the best match and see if you like it. Students that come to my school from countries where they would like to choose an English name often choose names, the first names of very popular movie stars or singers. That's quite common. Or basketball players. That's quite common as well. So, yeah, that's what I would do, Samuel. Let's see. Michelle, Bob, how is it going? Bob, which one will be more grammatically correct? I'm looking forward to, or I'm looking forward to. Let's see. I'm looking forward to singing. I'm looking forward to. Sorry, I missed the part there. Definitely. I'm looking forward to having a nap today. I'm looking forward to making something really yummy for supper. I'm looking forward to. Yes, for sure. Luis Carlos Panen has joined. Thank you for becoming a member, Luis. That is awesome. Rod says, thank you so much. No problem. Lolly says, merci, Bob. I made some French mistakes there, Lolly, I think, when I was trying to speak French. So, désolé. Elias says, Bob, this is a common question. Are you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed this morning? So that phrase is familiar to most English speakers. I probably say it once every 2 years. Like, oh, I'm feeling bright-eyed and bushy-tailed this morning. By the way, that simply means that you slept good and you're wide awake and you're just feeling ready to start your day. I got a super sticker from Amarfi Garcia. Thank you so much. Louise says, what is the difference between saying bailiff and court officer? I don't know the exact difference between those two. I do know that when you go to court, there is a judge, there is sometimes a jury, there is sometimes a few lawyers there. Actually, there's usually lawyers there. There's usually a court, someone who keeps records, and then there's a bailiff or court officer, and I think they might be the same in Canada. Let's see here. Trung says, thanks, no problem. Julia says, hi, all millionaires. Thanks, Julia. Oh, that made me laugh. Anyways, thanks to the 604 people watching. Let's get to the next question. Xaled says, what's the difference between talk about and speak of? So I would say today I'm going to talk about the English language. I might say today I'm going to speak about the English language. There's a slight difference though. Like, I think as a teacher, when I say today I'm going to talk about the world of business. Today I'm going to speak about the world of business. Those would mean the same thing. Speak of, that's a less used form. Like, are you going to speak of Yeah. Are you going to speak of this? No, we don't use that very often. That is a rare form. It's not incorrect, but we certainly don't use that very often. Elias, what does dump mean? Oh, Elias, I could make a whole video on the word dump. When I was a kid, we took our garbage to the dump. So there was a place we went to where we threw our garbage. So we took our garbage to the dump. When I was a kid, sometimes a truck would come and the truck would dump dirt in the yard because my dad needed some dirt. So the truck would come and it would dump the dirt. So that's called a dump truck. So when you dump something, like when I drive a wheelbarrow, when I get where I need to be, I dump the wheelbarrow. Sometimes when people are dating, you'll get dumped. So you could say, oh, is Julie still dating Nathan? And you would say, no, Julie dumped him. He got dumped. So lots of different meanings, Elias. It's a great word, isn't it? You can also look dumpy. Like if my clothes are really wrinkly and old, you could say that I look dumpy. I'm going to stop talking about dump now, but great question. Corey J. Bob, there is only one error. In French, we say partager en cinq. Ah, excellent. Thank you very much, Corey J. Merci beaucoup. Let me get to the next question from all the viewers. Let's see here. Ruslan. Hi, Ruslan. Good afternoon, Teacher Bob. How are you doing today? I'm good. How to collectively refer to a guy who is from their team? Is the word insider suitable? I don't know. I would just say he's on our team. I'm not sure I 100% understand the question, Ruslan, so that's part of the problem. An insider is someone who, like, at work, I'm an insider, right? I'm on the team, so I know what everybody's talking about. Yeah, I hope that made some sense. Sorry, sometimes Bob the Canadian fails at answering the questions. Sorry, Ruslan. Let's see here. Slava says, hello, Bob. How are you? I'm good, Slava. Thanks for asking. Please tell me how to pronounce these two words correctly. Week and week. So last week, one day I didn't have breakfast till 11 and I started to feel weak. Okay, so week, W-E-E-K, is 7 days in a row, right? This week, I worked really hard on the farm. When you don't eat all day, you start to feel weak, like your muscles don't work very well. They're pronounced exactly the same way. Excellent question. Let's see here. Michelle says, wait, hold one, Mr. Bob. You said that bundle up is the same like put on, but we can use bundle up as it goes with. Here's a prime example. Razor and shave cream are bundled up. Yeah, you can buy things in a bundle. In a bundle. So you could say, oh, if you bundle two things together, it's cheaper. Okay. We wouldn't really say, yeah, you would say that. The razor and the shaving cream and the brush are bundled up together and it's cheaper to buy them together. Yep, that would work for sure. Let's see here. When you're at a fast food restaurant, it's called a combo. But in a store, sometimes they bundle up. They bundle things up together. Abel. Hi, Abel. Hi, Bob. Good morning. In a phone call, somebody asks for my son. How should I introduce myself? I'm his father or he's my son. Thank you. Greetings from Texas. So if someone called to talk to my son, I would say, yeah, I'm his dad. I would just say that. Like if I said, oh, can I take a message? I'm his dad. Okay. I'm his father. I'm his dad. That's what I would say. Yeah. You could say he's my son too. You could say, oh yeah, I'll take a message. He's my son. I'm his dad. Just say both and you'll be good. Let's see here. Katerina from Ukraine. Sunny day, Teacher Bob. Could you explain how to pronounce the word, little correction there, Katerina, how to pronounce the word often with T or without? Thank you for your help. When I speak slowly and when I speak clearly, I often say the T. So you heard me say it just there. When I am in a meeting with my boss and other people and it's very formal, I often pronounce the T when I say the word often. When I'm talking to my students or friends, I often don't say the T, okay? Very often I just kind of just go right through and I don't say it. So you can't go wrong pronouncing the T, okay? If you were to always pronounce the T, you're not going to sound funny, you know? Often people who are learning English think that if they pronounce words wrong, sometimes people will think they sound funny. But I will tell you this, quite often I pronounce the T, and quite often I don't. So I just did it both ways there. So don't worry too much about it. Say the T if you want. Skip the T if you don't want. I think you'll be fine. Let's see here. Next question is from Rasha. Hi, the best teacher. Could you please tell me what is the difference between irritated and annoyed? And what does I'm up for something mean? Thank you so much. Well, Rasha, if I am irritated, it means that usually I think irritated is something like if a cat kept jumping here and trying to scratch my microphone and it did it a number of times, I would start to get irritated. Okay. But you can be annoyed right away. You know what? They almost mean the same thing. Yeah. The other day I was irritated. The other day I was annoyed. The other day someone in front of me was driving slowly and I was really irritated. The other day someone was driving slowly in front of me and I was really annoyed. They mean pretty much the same thing. And I was totally up for answering your question. So when you're up for something, it just means that you want to do it. Like if someone said, hey, Bob, do you want to go to Niagara Falls today? I could say, yep, I'm totally up for it. I'm up for it. I'm up for it. Who wants to go see a movie? I'm up for it. That all works. Let's see. Nakshu Vidi says, Teacher Bob, can you explain this phrase, fits the role like a glove? When something fits you like a glove, it means you're well suited for it. It means that it's something that you're good at. Okay. Some would say that, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, that was totally rude. I couldn't help it. I wonder if there's something that is making me, maybe I have a little bit of allergies or something. Sorry about that. I should have muted my mic and turned off my camera, and I should have sneezed in private, but sorry. You can all say bless you now. That's usually what we say in English afterwards. Or you can say Gesundheit. We actually use the German word sometimes. Anyways, when something fits you like a glove, like if you try on a shirt and it's not too big, it's not too small, you can say, oh, it fits you like a glove. So it fits you perfectly. Let me just jump over here. Give me 1 second here. I am going to, I think I left this on longer than I normally do. So let me get this turned off. I'm just going to turn off members only chat so everyone can now chat again. And I just want to say thank you to my members. Those of you who have decided to join the channel, you're awesome. Thank you very much. Let's go to the next one. From Arzo Okur, who says, I believe this will not work if I don't speak English. Do you think it's true? I believe this will not work if I don't speak English. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I do know this. If you don't speak English, you just won't become very good at speaking English. So I guess that makes some sense. I'm not sure, but the sentence is totally correct for sure. Let's see here. Sean, hey Teacher Bob. Hey Sean. I've been wondering this for a while. What is the difference between sore and sour? So I think you're asking about pronunciation. You know, if you punch me, then my arm will be sore, okay? If I eat a lemon, it's very sour. So again, if you punch me, I'll be like, oh, that hurt. My arm is sore. If I eat a lemon, I could say, whoa, this lemon is very sour. So hopefully that makes some sense. Let me see here. Next question is from Srikanth. Hi, Bob. Today is Ganesh Festival in India. Wish everyone happy Vinayaka Chavitha. My question is, what is condensing? So condensing, so let's say you have milk. Sometimes they take the water out of the milk and they make condensed milk. Sometimes you read a story and you can read a shorter version of the story, which is the condensed version. So anytime something is condensed, it's made smaller. We say this about the English language too. When people speak English quickly, it's a condensed form of English. When you use contractions and reductions, you are condensing the language. So when you condense something, you make it smaller. Let's get to the next question. Sam, hi Bob, good evening. Before you mentioned super chat, I know it means tip, but how to spell it super chat, I don't think it's correct. It's just super chat. Like super chat is, I'll put it in the chat. It's one word. It's a new word. You can say super chat with a space. You can say super chat without a space. But when you leave a super chat, it's when you click and you give a YouTuber a tip while they are doing the live stream. It's called a super chat. Let's see here. Next question from Kiko. Hi, Bob. Could you help me to correct this sentence? John is a Swedish accountant. Thanks in advance. That's yeah. So John is a Swedish accountant. John is a Swedish accountant. So instead of and then it's correct. Okay. And then first of all, I would say, could you help me correct this sentence? I know you feel like you should say to correct, and it's fine to say it that way, but it doesn't sound the way we would say it. I would say this. Hi, Bob. Could you help me correct this sentence? John is a Swedish accountant. There we go. Let's see here. In the chat, we have Obir Veet saying, hey, Bob, do you own that beautiful piece of land or is it a city's park? This is where I live, Obir. Olbear. This is where I live. I live on a farm. Yes, I do own it, but I also have a mortgage. That means I borrowed money from the bank to buy this property, and every month I give the bank money. So don't think that I own all of this outright. When you own something outright, it means you do not owe anybody money for it. But I borrowed money to buy this farm. It will take me a long time to pay off this farm. But yes, that's where we are. We are at my farm. Let's see here. Ario, hola, Mr. Bob. You want to carry on. What does it mean? I heard that sentence in the song Lost in Love by Air Supply. Thank you. Air Supply is a great band, by the way. The lyrics are very easy to understand. It's an older band. Most of their songs are about love, but if you want to listen to a band where it's quite easy to understand, that's a great band. So carry on means to just keep doing something. You know, if I'm having a conversation, if I was talking to someone on the street, we could carry on the conversation in a local cafe. If I'm talking to someone on the phone, I could say, well, hey, I'll phone tomorrow and we can carry on talking about this. If I am putting flowers in the van and I stop for a bit, I could then start to do it again. I could carry on putting flowers in the van. So it simply means to restart doing something or continue doing something. And everyone should go listen to an Air Supply song right now. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but the one mentioned by Ario is probably a good one. Sorry, I'm losing a little bit of steam here. Do you know that phrase in English? When you lose steam, it means you start to get tired of doing something. I'm enjoying myself, but I'm losing a little bit of steam. But I think we only have 8 minutes left, so let's finish off this lesson. Diego from Argentina. Hi, Diego. Hi, Bob. Morning. How's it going? Yeah, it is still morning here for 8 minutes. Yeah. What kind of movie series do you recommend to improve our listening and vocabulary? Have a great day. So I recommend television more than movies, because with television, you can see the same characters in every episode and you can start to understand the way they speak. Okay. So I do really like television series. I really like reality TV, like Survivor or The Amazing Race, because you have real conversations between people instead of scripted conversations. So those two are two that I highly recommend for sure. Movies are great, but a movie is just a one-time thing. You watch the movie, it's done. If you watch a television series, you can watch every episode and really start to understand what the people. Let's see here. Next question is from Eli. Eli says, hey, Bob, how are you doing? It's been a while since I watched a live lesson, but I'm glad I could reach out today. Greetings from Brazil. Well, thank you very much, Eli. That is very, very nice of you. I'm just going to check here. There are a lot of questions after Eli's questions. So sorry, I don't think I'll get to all of them. I'll go as quickly as I can. Next question from Tom. Hi, Teacher Bob. How are you? I'm good. My question is, what is the difference between laugh, grin, and smile? Thank you so much. So a grin and a smile are the same thing. We usually use smile. We use that a lot more than grin. Grin can sometimes mean smiling, but maybe not for a good reason. But generally, smiling and grinning are the same thing. And then a laugh is like, ha, ha, ha. That's my fake laugh. Ha, ha, ha. That's your laugh. Let's see here. Next question is from Manati. Hi, Bob. He needs to take care, or he needs to take care. So he needs to take care of his mom. He needs to take care of the dog. He needs to take care of a few things. Definitely the first one. Next question. Here's a good one. Jay says, hello, Teacher Bob. What is the difference between I am in school and at school? So here's how I would say it. If you are a student, you could say I am in school. Okay. Yeah, I'm in school right now. If you are visiting a school, you would say that you are at school. So when you say you are in school, you don't have to be physically in the building. Okay. So my kids are young. They're in school still. They're not actually at the school right now. I'm just saying that they are students and they happen to be currently studying at a school. So let's look at it this way. When you say to someone, I am in school, you're simply saying, I am a student right now. Hey, are you working? No, I'm in school. That's how I would say that. At school, I could say, before I leave work, when I am at school, I phone Jen to see if there's anything she needs from the grocery store. Let's see here. Next question. Let's see here. Corey from France. Dear Bob, please, I need you to clarify a point I was wondering about. This is about how to express past habits. Used to or would. Is it interchangeable? Thanks a million. When I was a kid, I would ride my bike. When I was a kid, I used to ride my bike. When I was a kid, I would feed the calves in the barn. When I was a kid, I used to feed the calves in the barn. So in those two examples, they are completely interchangeable. But be careful, because would is used a lot of ways, right? Like it's a conditional way of speaking. But in your situation and in the examples I gave, they are interchangeable. Yes. For the last year on Saturdays, I would do a live stream. That means, though, that I still do it. If I say I used to do a live stream, it means I don't do it anymore. So that's a little bit of a difference there, right? So when I was a kid, I used to drive a car. No, I didn't drive a car. When I was a kid, I used to ride a bike. When I was a kid, I would ride a bike. That works. But if I say last year, I would do a live stream every day, it means that I'm probably still doing them. If I said last year I used to do a live stream every day, it probably means I'm not doing them anymore. So hopefully that makes sense. Gonna try and interpret this one. Rodrigo Bueno. What time I need to study to speak? I think the question is this. How much time do I need to spend each day to be able to speak English fluently? And my answer would be this. Spend an hour a day, 5 days a week for about 2 or 3 years, and you will be pretty far along as long as you are studying reading, writing, listening, speaking, and learning new vocabulary. That's what I would recommend. And study a bit of grammar in there. You'll notice I don't always recommend studying grammar. You should do a little bit of it, but it's not as important as some people think, I think. Let's see here. Next question. Aziz says, hi, Bob, please tell us about punctuation. Well, every sentence ends with a period or a question mark or an exclamation mark, depending on whether you're just saying something or whether you're asking a question or if you're really excited. Commas are used to break two ideas apart in a sentence. It's a little more difficult than that. And I'm not going to get into colons and semicolons. You need to study grammar to understand how to use those. They're a bit challenging, but master the ending punctuation first and the comma, and you should be fine. Let's see here. Next question is a pronunciation question. Anselros, hi, Mr. Bob. Please pronounce these words: bad, bat, bed. Okay, when I was a kid, sometimes I was bad. Okay, I'll just admit it. When I was a kid, sometimes I was bad. I actually did a video this week where I told a story about where I almost stole a knife from someone. You should go watch that video. Maybe Todd or Dave can find that video. It's the Wednesdays with Bob, number 17. So when I was a kid, sometimes I was bad. Also, when I was a kid, there were bats that lived in the barn. And sometimes I played baseball and I would swing a bat when I was playing baseball. And every night when I'm tired, I go to bed. Okay. I actually really like going to bed and sleeping. It's just a really nice thing to do. Let's see here. Next question is, let me just find, yeah, we're getting close to the end, aren't we? Alexandra from Ukraine. Hello, Teacher Bob. Hi, Alexandra. How to say in one word that I liked your Instagram photo or video on YouTube and gave you a thumbs up. Thank you for your lessons. Notice I added an S to thumb. Basically, you would just say thanks. But when we give someone a thumbs up, like below this video, if you all want to do this right now, there's a thumb and you click on the thumb. And even though there's only one thumb, we say that you are giving me a thumbs up. So I don't know why there's an S, because there's not two thumbs, there's only one, but that is how we say that. So, hey folks, I'm going to, let me just go to no display so you can actually see behind me. I'm going to wrap this up. In English, when you wrap something up, it means you bring it to a close. It means that you end it. So this has been a great live lesson. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Bob the Canadian. If you are learning English, please click that red subscribe button there and follow me here on YouTube. If you want to watch more of my videos, there are many of them. Just pick some and watch the ones that you like. There are short videos, there are really long videos, etc., etc. Please remember, this video will have English subtitles later today or tomorrow. If there were parts you did not understand, please come back and watch it. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great week. And I'll see you Tuesday with a brand new English lesson, just a little one. Anyways, bye everybody.